but we would love to have somebody call in with questions or comments or ideas about cooking things out of your garden.
Absolutely. And that phone number is 435-879-4100, 435-879-4100, or you can jump on our Facebook page, Radio St. George 100.3, and drop a comment there or post a comment there if you'd like to. Yeah. You can even text a comment to that phone number that I gave you, 435-879-4100. And okay, well let's dive right into it.
Well, the first thing I wanted to talk about, I thought, well, let's start with my very favorite thing to do with vegetables from the garden, and that's put them on the barbecue.
Okay.
Oh, I love that.
So what works?
Well, first of all, you have to have a barbecue.
I do have one of those.
Okay. And then you need to have a couple of these pans or grills that are made for barbecue. They have holes in them.
Okay. Oh, yes, I have. I got one of those on clearance last fall.
Yeah. You got to have one of those. And then what I like to do is to I usually put squash, peel the squash and slice it. Mushrooms, starting to sound good, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Onions.
Absolutely.
Tomatoes.
Love all those things.
Yeah. And some meat, you got to remember some pieces of steak or some chicken, something like that, or pork.
Now, how do you grill tomatoes without it falling all together or falling apart? Actually?
Yeah. Well, okay, you preheat the grill, and you get everything ready to go, and you spread out these vegetables on your grill or in your frying pan. I have one of each, and you saute them with butter. Butter's a wonderful thing.
Oh, absolutely.
Because you can always throw the meat away and eat the butter, But you saute them with butter, salt and pepper and butter, and maybe just a little bit of garlic salt,
So what you're saying is you want to, as far as preparation is concerned, saute it first?
No, as it's cooking.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
okay,
you want to have a brush and a bowl or a cup of butter out there by the barbecue. But peel the squash and then slice them. The tomatoes that you questioned me about, you take the tomato and cut it in half, okay? Then you turn it over so that the cut side is up.
Oh, that of course.
And the skin is down.
Okay.
And the skin acts as a bowl to cook the tomato in.
Okay.
It'll stay there. And it might get brown, it might even get burnt, but it cooks the tomato, and they're wonderful. Mushrooms, just clean them up and put them in there. Onions, peel the onions down to the good onion. You can slice it, or you can leave it in a big onion. You wouldn't put whole; you slice it. If you're using small green onions, you could put those in whole. Let's see what else.
Or even red onions.
Yeah.
Red onions have a different taste.
Yeah.
Taste
Oh,
to it,
peppers. Peppers. Peppers are getting to be more and more and more popular. There are tons of different types of peppers, hot peppers, sweet peppers, and you clean those out and slice them in like a bell pepper. I'll slice it from top to bottom in about an inch wide pieces and put in there.
Now, let me ask you about bell peppers. Okay, you have the green kind.
Right.
What's the difference between the green and the, orange and the red?
Color.
Just color.
That's it. And there's no difference.
So the taste is the same.
The taste is the same.
But they decide to raise the prices on the red and the orange because it's just
they're
different.
Pretty, yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. So if somebody's doing salsa or chili sauce or something, it looks a little different, but they taste the same.
Absolutely the same.
So
okay, I didn't know that.
So you get your peppers, and I don't care a lot for hot peppers. I don't like to have my mouth burn out. So, but peppers you can eat raw or you can cook them. Okay. And anyway, you put that whole thing together and you put some meat in there. The meat's going to take a little longer to cook. So you're going to, a lot of times what I'll do is I'll have one pan with meat in, and I'll start it and get it about halfway done, and then I'll take the vegetables, put in another pan, and put it on the other burner.
Makes sense. Absolutely makes sense.
And so you have to tend them and be pretty conscientious. You can't go in the house and, watch TV because the vegetables will burn. The barbecue's hot enough that they'll burn quickly, and you don't want that. And so you want to be there, and you want to be brushing on some butter and some garlic and salt and pepper, and you want to be turning the vegetables,
Quite often, yeah.
Yeah, everything except the tomatoes. You don't want to turn those because if you turn those over,
it's a mess.
It's a mess, yeah. So, they'll cook in, if the grill's hot, they're going to cook in 8 or 10 minutes. And say you're doing burgers or you're doing steaks. One of the things I like to cook with this dish of vegetables is some salmon, a nice piece of salmon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That'd go perfectly with that.
Yeah. And salmon is just like the tomatoes. You can put it on the grill, and the skin, you put the skin down, and the fish fry. It's just like having a pan under them. And they'll sit and cook with this skin on the bottom, and the skin will be burnt to a crisp, but the salmon will be just right.
Talk to us about fruits, actually. Are there some fruits that you've tried? Obviously, we can't grow pineapples in this area, or maybe we can.
No.
But I know pineapples grilled on the grill is perfect.
Yeah, it is. I can't think of any other fruit you'd put in there. Most of the time when we do fruits, it's... a fruit salad.
Okay.
Strawberries, maybe some melon, cantaloupe, and pineapple mixed together, and
fresh from the garden.
Fresh from the garden.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's really good. Then you get everybody around the table and serve. And you'll be surprised. People really love those vegetables. And squash, you want to, as you're cooking it, you want to cook it until it's soft. It starts to get translucent as it cooks. So you can kind of tell by turning it in that it's when it starts to get translucent and warm, and the texture of the squash changes.
Now, does that take extra time, like the meat? The squash takes extra time, or
maybe just a little. You could put those in the pan first, and then put the onions and the rest of it with it. The onions don't take too long, and mushrooms, you really just kind of heating those just a little bit. So yeah, the squash probably takes a little longer than most of the stuff in there. This is, maybe try it a time or two before you get it perfect. Every time I do, it's perfect. I've never burnt a vegetable.
But you haven't.
So, but anyway, that's one of the really good ways to use up some stuff off the garden.
Okay.
And one word when you're doing squash, there's all kinds of squash. I usually grow 4 or 5 different kinds, but let's say that we're talking about crookneck or the zucchini type squash, and you peel them and cook them, and there's not going to be too much difference between that and another type of squash. Most of the stuff they call summer squash includes the zucchini, the crookneck, yellow squash, those type of squashes. When you're growing those in your garden, they usually get 8 or 10 inches long before I see them. They can hide under the leaves on the squash are big, and they hide the squash. They recommend, that you don't let them get real big. When they go past about a foot in length, they start to get not quite as nice inside. So you want to maybe pick those when they're about a foot long and about, 1.5 inches in diameter. And that's the optimum time that they're going to taste the best. The seeds in the middle get really big if the squash gets big, and it starts to hollow out in the middle. So it's better to, and then, let's go back to the barbecue. So butter is my favorite thing to saute them with.
A lot of people use olive oil.
Well, I was going to say, the other thing you can use is oil, or you can even use the zesty Italian dressing.
Okay.
And, put some of that on there.
Okay.
And, the thing about putting oil or dressing or butter on it is it helps it to cook. You don't want to cook it dry. No. If you cook it dry, you're going to burn it. It's got to have something to keep it moist and keep it going.
Awesome. It's great.
We ought to give that a name. I guess it's kind of like a vegetable medley, or a miscellaneous dish or something for the barbecue. It's great. It really is.
Awesome.
And you'll love the tomatoes. The tomatoes get soft and warm and cooked, and you just do, scoot the skin off over on the corner of your plate and have the tomatoes, cut it in a couple of pieces, put a little salt on it. It's really good.
Yeah. Well, it's Radio St. George, 100.3 KXDI with Woody and Artie. It's the Garden Show and things you should know on the beautiful campus of Dixie State University. Of course, you can join us on Facebook Live, on YouTube, and you can tune in from coast to coast if you want to. So that's kind of neat. When you're traveling, you can listen to us and give us
the armed forces, the ships at sea.
Absolutely.
Yep.
You can call us and with a question at 435-879-4100. Today we're talking about what to do with those items in your garden,
right?
As far as eating them, how to prepare them, what to do, what not to do. So that's kind of what we're talking about.
I made a list of some items so that we didn't leave too much out. There'll probably be something that we'll forget. Yeah, but one of the first things on my list are string beans. I don't know if you're a string bean eater, but
I like string beans.
Do you? Yeah. So let's say that you're growing one or two types of string beans, and they get my mother used to use the word a mess. You get a mess of string beans. I guess that's enough to feed your family. So whatever that means.
Mess of string beans.
Yeah. But pick the string beans and clean them and cut off both ends, And she used to boil them, put them in a pot, a couple of cups of water, boil them, and put a piece of bacon in there.
Oh, yum. You can't go wrong with bacon added.
Yeah, exactly. And then drain all that off, and you've got something for your plate. And my wife taught me to put a little ketchup on them. I don't know if anybody
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's great. Just a little bit,
That's interesting.
Or some steak sauce or anything like that, or just salt and pepper. We'll talk about spices, and when we say spices in my house, it means, onion salt, garlic salt, celery salt, salt and pepper. So
all that stuff.
I don't use some of the exotic spices. It's just I'm not that type of cook. But anyway, string beans, Brussels sprouts. Are you a Brussels sprout?
I'm not a fan.
You're not.
But maybe I should try them.
I don't know. I love them. So they're hard to grow. They're a cold weather crop. But, you know, I buy mine at the store and take them home and pretend I grew them.
So when's the best time to grow Brussels sprouts if you wanted to grow them in your garden?
Well, you actually plant them in the fall and grow them over the winter and pick them in the spring.
Really?
Yeah. But I buy those and I take them home, and you cut the little end where, you know, it's a round ball and down the bottom's got a stem. Cut the stem off, take the few of the outside leaves off, and put it in water, put some salt in the water, and boil them for about 20 minutes. They're basically a cabbage, and they're pretty tough to eat raw.
Yeah.
So you boil them, and they soften up, soft enough to, you know, put a fork through them, and then drain them really good, put some butter on them, and I love them.
Oh, huh.
Yeah, they're good.
Well, maybe I'll try them again. I don't know.
Yeah. You know, you can't go too wrong. Cabbage is the same thing, only, you know, cabbage is bigger. We've got St. Patrick's Day coming up in the spring, and a lot of people cook some cabbage and corned beef.
Absolutely.
And
can't go wrong with that.
oh, I love cabbage and corned beef. It's really good, and it's basically the same thing. You take the outside leaves off, slice the cabbage up in whatever sizes you like, and put it in the water and boil it. And, you know, if you don't have corned beef, throw a couple of pieces of bacon in, and it
Can't go wrong with bacon.
it puts a little bit of a taste in there. And corned beef is wonderful. You take a little gas X when you eat it, because corned beef, a lot of people don't realize it. Cabbage will give you, it'll give you some gas. So you want to take some gas X.
That's all I need. That's all I need.
Is some gas.
Got plenty of that.
Yeah. Next thing is carrots.
Love carrots.
Love carrots. They're wonderful. They're so versatile. You know, you've got, you can eat them raw, cut a carrot, peel it, cut it up, carrot sticks with the dip, you know, or just as a snack alone. You can cook them and put them in, what can't you put them in? Soup and salsa and
salads,
chili sauce and salads, and they're really, really good for you. They got the vitamin A in and antioxidant, and they're great.
Is it true that if you eat too many of those, it does turn your skin orange?
It will. Yeah.
It will?
Yeah.
Wow, that's kind of
people.
weird.
You know, they sell carrot juice in the stores now.
Oh, okay.
Have you seen the bottles? Yeah. And it's a quart of it'll be $4 or $5, but people that drink carrot juice still drink an 8-ounce glass a day, no problem. If you drink a lot of it, the whites of your eyes will be orange.
Wow.
And your skin starts to turn because your body can't process it off as fast as you're intaking it.
So you think our president, Donald Trump, has eaten a lot of carrots?
I think he's eating a lot of something. I don't know what it is. But
and that could be that could be another show.
yeah, I hope so, yeah. We don't want to crowd outside the studio when we get done. Cauliflower. How about cauliflower? Do you like that?
Yeah. Is that hard to grow?
It is a little bit. At least I haven't been successful doing it. Man, it could be the weather. The weather's awful hot here, and cauliflower's more of a cool weather crop. But if you go to the store and pretend you grew it, bring it home and slice off the greens at the bottom, and then break it down into the sections and boil it. You can eat cauliflower raw, and again with the chip dip. I like it enough to eat it that way.
Oh, it's perfect.
Yeah.
Salads also, yeah.
Yeah, and salads.
Yeah.
And then you can boil it and drain it good, and then 2 ways that we eat it, and that's butter with a little garlic, you know, That's probably the healthier way to eat it. And the other way that I really like is my wife makes a cheese sauce and puts on it.
Oh, yum.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. It's really good.
Yeah.
With some cheese on. So that's cauliflower. Celery. Celery is something that you can grow. They sell seeds for it. It's a little bit difficult. There's some extra things you have to do for celery.
Now, what is that?
But, well, celery, as it grows, there's a process where they actually wrap it in layers as it grows.
Really?
So that it forms the
stalks.
The stalks. And I've grown it before, and I've been more successful than the other things, but celery is one of those things that people don't think a lot about, but it's really useful in a lot of ways. You can eat it raw, again, with the chip dip and stuff. You can fill it. Everybody has stuffed celery at Thanksgiving. Put some cheese in it.
Love that. With raisins.
Yeah, no. Raisins.
Yeah, raisins. Ants on a log with celery, peanut butter, and raisins.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, those are good.
Yeah. I make a cheese to put in the celery. I use sour cream and cream cheese and cheddar cheese.
Oh, yum.
And mix it all together and then just spread it in there and put it on the table.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah, that does sound good.
And celery is one of those things that you can put in soups.
Everything.
You can put
just
in,
like carrots. Yeah. Paired up with carrots, that's the best. Yeah.
It is. And it actually has a taste. There's a lot of soups and that won't be quite right until you take some celery seed or some celery salt and put just a little bit in, just a little bit. Yep. Okay, cucumbers. Cucumbers are one of the things that I love, and there's a dozen different kinds, and you can grow them all down here successfully. Cucumbers are, again, one of those things you don't let get really big because they kind of get pithy inside, they call it. But
now, what does that mean?
Well, the seeds get big, and there gets to be gaps in the flesh of the vegetable. So, most cucumbers you want to pick when they're 8-10 inches long. And there's a lot of different varieties, but again, you can use cucumbers in, let's see, fresh salsa. You can use them. My dad used to make have you ever had them in vinegar?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He'd take cold water and then put 50% of the white vinegar, salt and pepper, and then soak them and put them in the fridge overnight.
Really good.
And
really yummy.
It picks up that flavor. Yep. And so there's a lot of things you can use cucumbers. In England, they have cucumber sandwiches.
They do?
Yeah.
Huh.
And they peel them and they slice them. And I think they put something on the order of cream cheese or sour cream or something on the bread. And they have cucumber sandwiches.
Wow.
Which I haven't personally tried, but I do love cucumbers. So, who knows?
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So they do well down here in southern Utah.
They do. They do. And and you can pickle them. That's how you make pickles.
Oh, sure. It's Radio St. George 100.3 KXDI. Yeah, broadcasting live from the beautiful campus of Dixie State University. Want to thank Sean Denovan for letting us do the garden show. Of course, we do it every Saturday at 8 o'clock with Woody and Artie. Garden show and things you should know. Now, our phone number is 435-879-4100 if you'd like to call and contribute to our program, or you can text us using that number, 435-879-4100. We're on Facebook Live. We're on YouTube. And, we're talking today about stuff you can eat from the garden.
Pickling cucumbers, making dill pickles. I've never done it, but I know enough about it from watching my mother do it when I was growing up. They have cucumbers that are slicers, the type you eat, and they have smaller pickling cucumbers that make better pickles. But you basically get some dill, which you grow in your garden, and you make a brine out of vinegar and salt and all kinds of magic things. I'm not sure what goes into it. And you soak them. And it actually cures the cucumber and turns it into a pickle.
How long does it take to make pickles?
I think 8 years. No, I have no idea. I think it's more than 30 minutes and less than 8 years.
Good answer.
About
Love
the
that.
size of a bread box. That's what they say. Yeah. Okay. The next vegetable that I'd like to talk about is eggplant. Now, that's one of your favorites, right, Artie?
Oh, I don't know about that.
Oh, okay.
So, you can grow eggplant in hot temperatures
You
down here in Southern
You can
Utah?
grow eggplant down here, and it does pretty well.
Wow.
And they have a bunch of different varieties. And what I do with eggplant is we take it out of the garden, cut the ends off, peel it, and then I slice it as thin as I can slice it. I mean, 1/8 of an inch. Slice it as thin as you can slice it from end to end, and you'll end up with, 25 or 30 slices. And then I take a flat pan and put some egg in, salt and pepper, a little garlic, a little onion, and dip the slices in and put them on a grill.
Okay.
And grill them. And you grill them until the eggplant becomes browned and it becomes soft and pliable. And it's really wonderful. Now, some people will dip it in the egg and then they'll put it in flour like you do a chicken fried steak. But I don't usually put flour on it. But a lot of people don't have a taste for that, but I really enjoy eggplant. It's really good.
No, okay. So you dip it in the egg, and then
put it on the grill.
Okay.
And you can, if you have one of these electric grills that are about 20 inches long or something,
yeah.
You can put 5 or 6 pieces on at one time
And grill it. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Well, a lot of this makes sense. I'm not too sensible of a guy, but a lot of it makes sense. Now, in the salt or in the egg, you put, it's like an omelet, that type of thing. Put a couple of eggs and, 1/3 of a cup of milk and salt and pepper, and you beat it up with a fork like you're making scrambled eggs. That's what you use for the eggplant.
Eggplant, huh?
Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
They use eggplant in, have you ever had eggplant in lasagna?
I've never tried that.
Yeah, they have eggplant lasagna.
So would you use the eggplant as the noodles to replace the noodles?
You just put it in addition. They have lasagna that has spinach in, that has eggplant in. The Italians use eggplant quite a bit. So
that's cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
I didn't know that. Now, do you have to? Are those difficult to grow like the celery stalks?
No,
you have to be careful with the celery stalks.
No, you grow a little bush. The bush will be 18, 20 inches high and a couple of foot across, and all of a sudden you'll see these little teeny purple eggplants. And when they're about 8 or 10 inches long and about 4 or 5 inches across, that's when you pick them.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Now, maybe something you've never heard of, kohlrabi. Have you ever heard of kohlrabi?
I have never heard of kohlrabi.
It's like a oriental turnip. You plant it. It's easy to grow. Grows well down here, and you get a plant up, and then the bulb that you eat grows above the ground instead of like a turnip that grows in the ground.
Oh, wow.
And then it has sprouts that come out the top. And most of them are white. and when they're ready to pick, you pull them out and cut off the greens, and you cut off the root and peel them and cube them up or slice them up and cook them like you would turnips.
Okay.
Only they're better. They're better. Well, and I know a lot of people don't care for turnips, but they're more mild than a turnip. And they're really, really good. You can even, I was looking at one of the cookbooks, and it said to mash them up like mashed potatoes.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
And I know this usually means that you don't eat it, but they're healthy for you. You know, that's if you tell a kid that, he won't eat anything. So kohlrabi, and that's kind of a fun thing to do. They have them that are purple, and that makes, purple mashed potatoes. That a kid will go for that every time. Lettuce you can grow down here really well. You can grow lettuce and all kinds of different greens. Oriental greens. You can grow char.
I have no idea what char is.
Char is a plant. You plant the seeds. It comes up. It looks like the top of a great big radish. It grows these leaves.
Okay.
And like lettuce, that when the leaves get to be anywhere from about 5 to 8 inches, you cut them off at the ground. And then they'll grow again. And then you cut them off and they grow again. You clean them up nice, put them in your fridge, get them cold, and make a salad. Any kind of, you can use lettuce, you can use char, you can use mustard. Have you ever grown mustard?
No.
It grows just like lettuce, but if you take and break a piece of the leaf off and chew it, it has just a little slight mustard taste.
Wow.
And when you put it in a salad, you don't make the whole salad out of mustard, but you put 3 or 4 leaves in there cut up, and it just adds just a little flavor to the salad.
That's cool. That's cool. That's really cool.
So when I make a tossed salad, I like some of those greens, and then maybe I even slice an onion up in there, and I like pickled beets on it and so on. I love salads.
Yeah.
So that's good. And then the next thing I want to talk about is onions.
Onions. Okay.
Onions. Everybody likes onions.
Love onions.
Yeah.
Used to hate them as a kid.
Did you?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Even in liver and onions.
Oh, bleh.
Yeah. You don't like that, huh? Onions are one of the most versatile vegetables that there are.
Yeah.
You can eat them raw. You can cook them. You can put them in everything but ice cream, I think. But a lot of recipes, you'll see it calls for onions, and then it tells you to caramelize them. Do you know what that is?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Low and slow.
Yeah, and they get kind of translucent, and they get kind of brown a little bit.
The best kind.
Yeah, and that's when you take them off and put them, a lot of times when I cook steak or a pork chop or something, I'll do an onion. A pork especially tastes really good with onions.
Oh, absolutely. Anything.
And you put onions in salsa, you put it in chili sauce, you put it in chili. There isn't hardly anything that I don't put onions in. I love it. And there's different kinds, There's everything from the large white onions, the yellow onions, the red onions.
What are the difference? Like a sweeter taste?
Yeah.
With some of them?
Especially the red onions are sweeter.
Okay.
And and then you got the small green onions, and they're good in a salad. They're a little more meticulous to cut up, but they're good in a salad.
Speaking about the green onions, what part do you chop up and what part do you throw away? Because there's always been a debate at my place.
Well, you cut off the little root part that's on the bottom.
Okay, yeah, the little end cap.
And then you want the bulb, of course. And I usually
little white section.
Yeah, the little white bulb section, and
Okay.
then I usually go up a couple of inches and take the stalk, because that is really good, and it tastes just about like the bulb does.
Now, how much of the stock do you use?
Oh,
You use more of the white section, the white bulb, more so than the stock.
Yeah, you do, but like I say, I'll go up into the green part of the stalk and cut it. The very top 2/3 I don't, but I take and cut up that green too.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good.
Awesome. It's Onion Chat on Radio St. George 100.3.
Who do you know? I know an onion, yeah.
KXDI 435-879-4100 if you'd like to contribute to our program. 435-879-4100. You can also text us. We're on Facebook Live. Also, we're streaming on YouTube for all, I was going to say from coast to coast. From,
Coast to coast.
Worldwide.
Onion to onion.
Yep, onion to onion. All right. Today we're talking about what should we, how can we, use those vegetables and fruits that we grow in a garden.
Okay, next one I want to talk about are peas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Love peas, the sugar peas.
Peas are good, yeah. Sugar snap. There's a bunch of different kinds of peas. Most of the stores in their seed display will have 8 or 10 different kinds of peas. And you can get the type that you break the pot open and take the peas, or you can get the type that you stir fry, or the type that you put in salads, the sugar snap peas. Mm-hmm. And they're all good. They're all good. You can use peas in soups and by themselves, boil them.
Split pea soup.
Yeah, well, that's a little different, but yeah. Yeah, that's the same thing, but it's dried and then reconstituted.
Oh, okay.
But, yeah, peas are wonderful. I love them in a salad.
Yep.
And I
Can't
love
go wrong with that.
Yeah, they're really good. And they're pretty easy to grow. The mistake most people make, and I know that because I make it, is I wait too long to plant my peas. The peas down here, 2 to 3 weeks, you can start planting peas.
Like now?
Yeah.
Even what?
Oh, peas are really, really hardy as far as cold goes, and they're not really hardy as far as heat goes. So if you don't have them harvested by June, they're going to burn up.
I bet they are.
Yeah. So you want to get them going here. I would say the latest by the end of January. Yeah.
That's all variety of peas.
Yeah, and I'll bet you that there's people that have their peas planted already.
Well.
Yeah, because if a frost comes and hits them, it's not going to hurt them. They just keep right on keeping on.
They're that resilient, huh?
Yeah, they are. And peppers, we talked a little bit about peppers before, but you can use them for so many things. I love peppers. I love stuffed peppers, the bell pepper, and make a meatloaf type of mixture.
Oh, absolutely.
And stuff them.
Yeah.
The pepper gives the meat a taste that you can't get any other way.
That's true.
And
that's true.
Yeah. Do you know how to make the meatloaf that goes in the pepper?
Yeah. You throw some meat and some loaf, and then you put it together.
Yeah, the old loaf meat.
I guess you put breadcrumbs and then maybe some onions and some.
You know what works really, really well? Rice Krispies.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, you take the hamburger and put salt and pepper in it and some ketchup, and you mix it up, put some rubber gloves on, mix it up,
Krispies.
And then pour 2 or 3 cups of Rice Krispies. And this comes from the tradition back in the 30s and 40s when they wanted to extend meat and make half a pound of meat look like a pound.
Okay.
They wanted to extend it, so they put fillers in.
Hence the loafing part.
Yeah, bread. It's like salmon loaf. You put breads in, you put cereal, you put.
I didn't think about the Rice Krispies.
Oh,
That's a great idea.
They're good, and then you mix it all together, and take the pepper and hollow it out, and fill the pepper with the meat, put it in a oven-type pan, and put a lid on or put some tin foil over it and cook it for about an hour.
Oh, yum. That does sound good.
It's good. It's really good. Yeah. Yeah, they give it a great taste. We do that, and then we'll take the extra peppers and cut them up, clean them, do everything, chop them up or cut them in strips, put them in the freezer. And then we get them out when we're going to do like an omelet. You want to put some pepper in an omelet to get that Denver omelet kind of taste. That's what a Denver omelet is green peppers and onions in an omelet. So if you keep some in the freezer, they're really nice to use to season things. You can put them in soup. You can put them in, of course, chili sauce. You have to put them in chili, salsa, so on.
Now, how about chilies? How about green chilies? Do green chilies go? Do they grow well here in St. George?
They do. All the peppers grow really well here. Jalapenos. You see a lot of salad bars with jalapenos on, and I'd like to eat a salad and have 1 or 2 jalapenos on the side. I'm not crazy. I'm not going to eat 8 or 10, but they're good. They're kind of a taste that is acquired, but I don't. They've got some new peppers that are bringing in from other countries. One of the famous one right now is the ghost pepper.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that turns you into a ghost. They have a scale. I can't remember the name.
How hot it is.
How hot it is. And a bell pepper will be like 50 on the scale. A sweet pepper will be maybe 100. A ghost pepper is 1,000,000.
Oh, my gosh. Is it really that?
Oh, yeah. It'll send you to the hospital. Yeah, somebody talks you into eating one of those. You'll have about 15 seconds before it hits you after you eat it, and away you go.
Well, keep talking, Woody. I think someone's knocking on the window, so I'm going to let them in. So,
okay.
Keep talking.
All right.
Pretend like I'm here.
Okay. Sweet potatoes are one of the other things that are really popular right now. They have sweet potato fries that they make. A lot of the restaurants, Texas Roadhouse serves sweet potato fries. Some of them serve a sweet potato, and they put some, they bake them, and they put some brown sugar on them and some salt and pepper, and they're really a healthy thing for you to eat. And they also are making chips out of sweet potatoes.
Oh, yum.
Yeah.
Oh, of course, French fries.
Yeah.
Sweet potato French fries.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong with that.
No.
That was our fans trying to bust it. Yeah.
Oh, really? They're trying to break in?
Yeah, we just had someone knock on the window. It's our fans.
Do we have any firearms to protect ourselves?
No, I signed a whole bunch of autographs.
Oh, did you?
Yep.
Okay. Boy, you're quick on that stuff, aren't you? Okay, the next thing is spinach. Popeye and spinach.
Love me some spinach.
Do you?
I've been using more, in salads, I've been using baby spinach instead of lettuce. And a lot of people are using kale too. And you'll probably talk about kale, but yeah, I don't really eat lettuce anymore. I just use tons of spinach.
Well, yeah. And spinach is like lettuce. You can grow it. It grows really well down here. It sprouts and it gets a couple inches high. You take a pair of scissors and cut it off, and it'll sprout again. And then you cut it off, and it'll sprout again. The way to do it is to plant one row, wait 2 weeks, plant another row behind it, wait 2 weeks, plant another row behind that. So you'll always have, you go out in the garden and you cut those leaves and take them right in the house and run them under the water and make a salad. There's nothing better.
Wow.
It's great. And there's a bunch of different kinds of spinach. One of the ones that's really popular right now is baby leaf.
Absolutely
spinach.
love baby leaf.
Yeah. and it's really good. And they have Ruffles, and they have there's a bunch of different ones. But when I was growing up, spinach was the Popeye cartoon where it was canned. And my mother would buy a can of spinach. That didn't go down with me very well. I never ate fresh spinach. I didn't even know that you ate it that way.
It was kind of slimy back in the day, wasn't it?
Yeah,
they cooked it really kind of slimy, green and slimy, but
it was like eating
seaweed.
Seaweed, yeah, that's what I was going to say.
But
Kelp. Yeah, it was kind of like eating kelp.
But, it was actually kind of good with a little bit of butter and salt.
Yeah, about 2 pounds of butter and 1 leaf of spinach.
Now, we're going to talk about kale or? No, we're not. Okay,
no.
Good. because
we can talk about it.
No. It's just that's a trendy thing.
It is
that annoys me for whatever reason. I haven't tasted kale yet, but the fact that it exists and that it's popular and that's trending annoys me.
Yeah, there's kale's real popular right now. Well, we were down to the coast a couple of months ago or a month ago, and we went into a pizza place where you build your own pizza.
Yeah. And
they put the things on, and they had arugula. Have you ever put arugula in your salad?
No.
It's like spinach, a leaf.
Uh-huh.
And they had kale, and they had all kinds of stuff to put on that.
Is wrong.
You can run a pizza really quick.
Anyway, I'm sorry I interrupted.
No, that's all right. Squash. Squash is versatility. It's right up there. Squash you can use in, let's see, I've got a list here. You can peel it, you can boil it, you can fry it, you can bake it. You can use it in stir fry, soups, alone with salt and pepper. There's different kinds. Spaghetti.
A lot of people are using spaghetti squash. Yeah.
And you slice it in half lengthwise, and clean out the seeds, bake it in the oven,
and then shred it. I guess,
and then
right?
When it's all done, you take it and you hold it up and take a fork and shred out the. It's just like pasta.
A lot of people are
and they put marinara sauce on it and some hamburger.
Yeah,
and you've got spaghetti.
Put some cheese on it, and it's great.
Or you can just put butter and salt and pepper. It's still great. Yeah, spaghetti squash is really good. We haven't talked about, we talked about boiling squash, and we've talked about barbecuing it, and but baking it we haven't talked about. You want to take a wet cloth and clean off the outside. You slice it lengthwise. You clean out the seeds and the stringy part, and then put it in a dish. Put maybe a square of butter in each half, and salt and pepper it, and put some a covering over the dish. And it takes about 20 minutes if you microwave it. Takes about an hour if you bake it in the oven.
Yeah.
And it's great. And then you just put it on your plate and take a spoon and eat it out of the skin part of the squash.
Yeah.
It really bakes up well.
Sounds good.
Now we're going to talk about the king of vegetables. What do you think that is?
Let's see. King of vegetables. Let's see. Oh, come on. Oh, hold on. King of vegetables. Potatoes.
No.
What?
Potatoes. Yuck.
What?
Potatoes are something you have to eat.
Okay.
No, I like potatoes.
Potatoes?
Tomatoes.
Oh, tomatoes. Okay.
Tomatoes, yeah. I mean, what can't you do with a tomato? They're wonderful. You can use them on 100 different things. Different kinds of tomatoes. I have catalogs that have 50, 100 varieties in them of tomatoes. Anything from Romas that you make marinara sauce with, to the little ones you put in a salad, the
cherry tomatoes,
yellow pear tomatoes. There's the heirloom tomatoes, the old varieties that one slice will cover a sandwich. And, you know.
Big steak tomatoes.
Yeah, beefsteak. Yeah, they're wonderful. You can, let's see, you can use them raw, cooked, hot, cold. They're great on sandwiches, salads, alone, or cooked on the barbecue. They can be fried, boiled, or roasted. They go in soups and chilies, and they can be canned or fresh. And, of course, salads of all types. So, you know, you put all that together, it's pretty versatile. And I happen to love tomatoes.
Yeah.
You know, tomato juice, you can juice them. You know, V8, I could have had a V8. And so tomatoes are the king of vegetables. They really are. And they grow fairly well down here. Plant them early, get them in as soon as you can. You should probably be starting them in your house in the little starting kits just about now.
Yeah.
And get them ready to put outside because you want to have them, you want to use the varieties that grow and ripen quickly. The 4th of July, the ones that are mature in 50 to 60 days. Don't get the ones that mature in 90 to 100 days because it'll get too hot and they won't be any good.
Nope, not at all.
So, but we'll spend a lot of time on tomatoes as the season goes on.
Well, what do we have? About 60 seconds left.
What should we talk about?
Well, I guess we could just wrap up what we've talked about today. We've talked about what to do with the vegetables and fruits that you grow in your garden.
I've got
three great tips.
3 cookbooks here, and I haven't opened any of them yet.
Okay.
So we could have just gone on forever.
All right. If you have any questions about cooking those particular vegetables that you grow in your garden, of course, you can drop us a message on our Facebook page. We're Radio St. George 100.3 in beautiful St. George, Utah. Most
cookbooks have a vegetable section.
Do they?
They have cookbooks that are just for vegetables. I'm putting that plug in there.
Absolutely. Now, okay. Well, what a great show today. Now, Woody, what are we going to have? What are we going to talk about for next week's episode?
I have no idea.
Thrill-packed episode of the garden show and things you should know.
Yeah, I have no idea.
No idea.
Yeah, okay. I think maybe hot air balloons. I don't know.
All right. Well, that's another thrill-packed episode coming up.
It won't be cooking again.
Okay.
We'll go back into the other stuff.
Okay. Wonderful. Well, what do you think? Thanks for your time today.
Well, thanks for letting me come in here.
Yeah, we want to thank Sean Denovan. He's the professor here at Dixie State University for letting us use the facilities. All right, and we'll be back next week at 8 o'clock every Saturday morning on this wonderful frequency. Radio St. George 100.3 KXDI, St. George, Utah.
Be there or be square.
KDXI, St. George. Our place on the internet. RadioStGeorge.com.
It looks like we've made it to a Friday.